Do you watch YouTube while you eat? Or maybe Netflix? Are you eating right now as you watch this? If you do, then this video is for you, because doing that excessively is a sign of a poor relationship with food that can actually lead to excessive weight gain. I know that's kind of a bold claim to make, so let me dive into the 3 signs that you need to look for to see if you have a poor relationship with food. Relationship with food? What do you mean, bro? I'm not gonna take my chicken nuggets out on a date. Yeah, obviously, and before I get into explaining it, let me talk about a problem that I know you and me both have. The entire modern world as a whole has no attention span anymore. Overuse of social media and constant access to so much information on the internet is keeping our brains constantly occupied. That brings us back to watching YouTube while we eat. Is it an issue that's directly killing us? No, it's not that serious, but the constant stimulation that we crave from our phones and TV shows directly impacts our relationship with food. A healthy relationship with food means balance. We need to be choosing what foods go into our bodies and for what reasons. Sometimes it's for fuel, sometimes it's for taste. You need both to be a sane human being. However, a lot of us overlook that first step, choosing what we eat. Too often do we see Americans go into the kitchen, grab the first thing they see that seems mildly palatable, then we throw a screen in front of ourselves to just mindlessly drone away without a single organic thought to be found. This is sign number 1 that you may have a poor relationship with food. Mindless overeating. A problem I struggled with almost the entirety of my teenage life. Unintentional overeating means we are not intentional about every aspect of the food we're choosing to eat. How long did it take to prepare this food? How did this food even get to my house in the first place? How does this food taste? Seriously, when was the last time you slowed down bite for bite and thought about every bite you took and how it tasted? Thanksgiving? Maybe? When we go into what I like to call drone mode, we often get completely distracted for 20 or 30 minutes. And while we're doing that, we're not paying attention to our surroundings and often just continue eating if we have the food in front of us. No sense of portion control and just stuffing our faces full while we continue to watch whatever we're watching. This can lead to a lot of excess calories being consumed, which thus leads to weight gain. The second sign I want you to look out for, eating while you're bored. This is probably the habit it took me longest to break on my personal weight loss journey. To put it bluntly, it comes down to a lack of creativity. There are so many things you can do. What worked for me was the concept of delayed gratification. Whenever I got bored, but I knew I wasn't hungry, yet I got the craving to eat, I would go give myself a challenge. For example, I would go read a book, or go try to increase my mile time, or go educate myself on the financial world. I know the last one sounds a little boring. You can do something way more interesting than that, I promise. But I tried to delay that dopamine response. Dopamine is the happy chemicals that you get from things like food. If you delay that dopamine by earning something first, by challenging yourself, not only you're going to grow as a person, which is obviously kind of what we're here for, you're also going to feel like you earned that dopamine, which makes it feel even better. The most important and final sign that you may have a poor relationship with food also corresponds with the first 2. A binge and restrict cycle. Here's how these typically go. On any given day, for any given reason, you overeat. It could be because you're bored. It could be because you're mindlessly eating in front of a TV show. It doesn't matter. But with that overeating comes guilt. And with that guilt comes restriction. You feel the need to restrict yourself and the foods you're eating because you were bad or you had a bad day. Labeling things like that is extremely dangerous. After a few days of this restriction of punishing yourself, the cravings get so intense because you're eating so little that you end up overeating again, and that's what we call a binge. You see the cycle? Binge and restrict cycles can come in a lot of different shapes and sizes, but 2 of the most common forms of where they come from are from mindless overeating in front of a screen or bored eating. Unfortunately, the guilt is usually the same. If you relate to any or all of these signs, the number 1 thing I can ask you to do is to slow down. What helped me personally with my relationship with food is when I was more intentional with what food I was eating. Show more respect to the food that you eat. Think about how grateful you are to be in a position to have a nice juicy steak, or have pasta, or just have a fridge full of food in the first place. By respecting more of the food you eat, you also earn more respect for yourself. When you slow down, smell the roses, smell the food that you're eating, and really take in the experience of eating the food properly instead of just shoving it in your face, Both mental and physical changes will come over time. In my personal experience, this led to more gratitude, more patience, a better attention span, less overeating, and thus less weight gain and actually weight loss. These are serious issues that I battle with myself, so this is a very sensitive topic for me. And if you feel like you need someone to listen to you, my DMs are open. I'm here to help you. And with that being said, these videos I make are for you, so please let me know what you want to see next or how I can make these videos better for you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and before you go, let me leave you with this. You will take control of your eating one day, but one day only comes after day one.